He is the oldest climber, 44 years old, but he was the fastest climber in the speed prelims over 2 runs yesterday.
Mike's got his work cut out for him.
Person. And I mean, once the gate opens, it's like, that's all I see is the course. But before that moment, I mean, I don't have to do much ritual stuff to actually focus for the event. Downhill's a lot different. I do a little bit more focusing for the downhill than I do the slalom. The downhill, you know, there's a lot more opportunity to make more mistakes during your run. You know, it's a 6-minute race. You have to practice more of the course, whereas in slalom you can see the whole course. I can just stand there and basically see the whole course. So it's really easy for me to memorize the dual slalom versus the downhill. You know, luckily for me, I've started the season out really good. I've had already 2 great races, and so coming into Big Bear, I'm feeling really confident. I do have a totally different attitude this year. I'm looking at racing more from an experience aspect than I normally do. Like here, if I win or lose here, I think I'm going to come away with a lot of experience riding in the mud, riding in pretty gnarly conditions. When you race in the States a lot, you don't get the opportunity to race in a lot of mud, and especially here at Big Bear, it's only since I've ever raced here, it's only been dry conditions. So it's kind of a nice change. And if you crash, you just fall in snow, so it's not that bad. Every year is different. Every year I have different goals, and every year I think I approach things a little bit differently. Last year I had put a lot of high expectations on myself, and I fell short. And this year I really haven't set any major goals, but I think I'm just kind of more taking it one race at a time, and I think that really gives me an easier mindset coming into the race season. Everyone approaches a race differently. For me, I just want to stay up for the whole run. I want to ride smooth, and you know, the altitude's kind of been affecting me a little bit, so I pretty much won't go as hard as I can the whole run. I'm sure I've just picked out certain spots on the course that I find that I can really go 100%, and then there's other parts of the course, you know, you just have to kind of like just go with the flow of the race course, and just pray that you stay up. 3 years ago, bikes sucked compared to what they are today. You know, it's like the suspension has just made such a huge transition. It's just night and day. You know, we went from 3 inches of travel 3 years ago to 8 inches of travel. And I mean, the bikes are like motorcycles. And I wouldn't say, you know, that, you know, our technology is just like a motorcycle, and it's unbelievable when we're out there riding. I mean, when I started, there was no suspension. I remember my first race was in '92 at Mammoth, and I was going down the Kamikaze with a rigid fork and a rigid bike. And I mean, that's what I thought. You know, I come from BMX, rigid, that's just what I thought. I was so clueless because I come from my background has nothing to do with suspension. I don't. And so really, the summer of, actually the winter of '95, '96, I put a lot more energy into learning, and did a little more research on bicycles. And of course, you know, lucky for me, my boyfriend's a mechanic, so he would make me take things apart. And so I learned a great deal in that winter. I can't even believe I really do this for a living, because sometimes even when I'm practicing, I get like really scared. But I think because I'm a competitor, once I get into the start house, like I was saying earlier, once I get into the start house, I'm like a totally different person. I like have 2 personalities, and I'm like, my focus is completely different than it is at any other time during a week. And I think to be at the top of your game a lot, I think you need to have a little bit of fear. You know, we just want to have fun, and I think when it stops being fun, I don't think I'll be out here anymore. I see a lot of people that are so serious and all stressed out, and I mean, we're racing bikes, and we're, I think, pretty lucky that some of us are able to make a living doing it.